Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this reading's on Ronna McDaniel, the chair of the Republican National Committee. She's gone on Fox News on Saturday to state that the Hamas attack on Israel can be turned as a great opportunity for our candidates to contrast where the Republicans have stood with Israel time and time again, and Joe Biden has been weak. And Joe Biden has been weak goes to the $6 billion that was unfrozen. It was Iranian money that was unfrozen and put into an account overseen by the U.S. Treasury and managed by Qatar that is supposed to go to food and medicine and humanitarian expenses in Iran. And she's indicating that because Biden freed up that money, Iran used that money to send rockets to Hamas, who then used it to attack Israel. Now, the fact of the matter is, according to this article, that that money hasn't been touched yet. So you can't spend money you don't have on rockets. Now, you could make the argument, I suppose, that since they know it's coming, they can divert the money that they were going to spend on that to arms. And, well, yeah, that's a possibility. But it's politicians doing politics. It's what they do. Let's not show an iota of concern about the Israelis or the Palestinians in this. The ones, the civilians that are getting blown up in this. Let's not worry about that. Let's look at the political advantage, how we can use this so we can get into power. Lovely. But that's who the Republicans are. I would also point out that it must be really confusing to be a MAGA person because generally speaking, Trump and the MAGAs embraced white nationalism. White nationalists don't like George Soros because George Soros is going to have the Jews take over the country and everything will be done by Jews. Jews will not replace us, that type of thing. And Israel is full of Jews. So do you support Israel in this one because they're allies and they're Jewish? Or are you against them because they're nothing makes sense because they talk out of both sides of their mouth and they don't tell the truth. The Republicans do not tell the truth, plain and simple. They just don't. They just tell you whatever they think you want to hear to get you motivated so you vote for them and send them money. Ronna McDaniel, what's the energy around your statement? Anything we need to know about your lovely statement there? It's a burden. Well, I guess the Republicans are struggling. Not the least of which because their House is not united, and Trump's under 4 different federal cases with almost 100 indictments on him. There's no funding coming in because it's all going to Trump, and they're losing track. I think, despite what they say on the polls and such, unpopular decisions involving Roe v. Wade are really causing that party to struggle. And they realize time is up with them. Republicans don't compromise. They want to rule. And, if they're under burden, they can't rule. They don't, again, McCarthy could have compromised with Democrats, except for the fact that he was trash talking and blaming him for everything rather than owning his own stuff. And now he's out of power and the House is in turmoil. Underneath it all, the news that keeps coming into the GOP is all bad. And this, again, there's nothing good coming in. So this is the only thing that's come in recently that they could actually say, hey, we can weaponize this. We can use this for our benefit, because nothing else has been going to our benefit. In the past, we have the Six of Swords. Since Trump has left office, things have calmed down a little bit. Not a lot, a little bit. But I think also what you're finding is that the passion and the outrage of the right is tampering down. They're exhausted. Trump wore them out. And after the insurrection, that red tsunami that was supposed to happen didn't happen because people have lost their passion for it, and they're trying to stir up passion. Current situation is the chariot. The election is grinding forward. These court cases are grinding forward. They're running out of time. They're running out of time for the 2024 elections to turn the tide back to their favor. So now you have to make some tough choices. And one of these tough choices is to try and weaponize a conflict between Hamas and Israel. And in this case, this could be her, Ronna McDaniel, as the Queen of Swords. What she's hoping for is that with this attack in Israel, that they'll be able to unite the Republican Party and, get the evangelicals, the Freedom Caucus, and the conservatives all to come together and, take this tragedy in Israel to reunite the Republican Party. Now, I want to just throw something out there to you guys. Pearl Harbor, and they're describing this as Israel's Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor did more to unite the United States to a single cause than just about anything in our history, at least up until that point in 1941. And, the Republicans in the United States did not want to go to war. That was a European war. They wanted nothing to do with it, stay out of it. The Democrats at that time wanted to assist England and France and help out the European allies against Hitler. It was only when Japan attacked the Pacific Fleet did pretty much everybody in the United States united to go to war, and people were volunteering left, right, and center to get in. 9/11 in my lifetime, 9/11 was the closest thing to Pearl Harbor, and 9/11 was described as like the modern day Pearl Harbor. It was one of the few times that you could get Congress and the Senate to all agree on everything about going to war in Afghanistan or looking for weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Unfortunately, it was based on faulty information, and it got us in places that we never should have been in. But that we can't change that. We can't undo that. It is what it is at this point. Now for Israel, we've got the same thing going on here. They've been at war before. They've been in battles with Hamas before, but things have been calm for a really long time, and now they're not. So you keep getting this resurgence of catastrophic events to unite people. Now, there's two things that are going to happen. One, the Israeli people will unite, but how will they unite and which direction will they go has not been determined yet. But the Republicans are trying to ride the coattails of that. They're trying to ride the side crest of the wave to see if they can get some momentum built up here. That's where I wanted to go with this, is that this is the Republicans basically being like a parasite off of what happened in Israel. Outcome is the Nine of Pentacles. I think in some ways Ronna McDaniel is doing this to save her job as the RNC chair and establish that she's trying to do something. Queen of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. This might help spur some fundraising for the RNC. We'll see what happens. But again, they've been dealing with a lot of loss recently. And so they're going to try and take what they can, when they can, to bolster their bank accounts. It's about money. This is all about money. This is not about ethics or morals or principles. It's about finances. And it's funny because it'll probably take some of the oxygen out of the story about that was released about Donald Trump leaking nuclear secrets of our subs and such. But this plays also right into it, in that, not knowing what U.S. subs can do, not knowing exactly what they can do, is a deterrent, because you have to plan for such things. And you don't know if they, do they have 5, 10, 20 warheads on it? Do those warheads on the subs, so missiles on the subs, do they carry multiple warheads? Do they carry 2 each? Do they carry 4 each? Do they carry 10 each? So you don't know if you're dealing with like 200 warheads or if you're dealing with 20 or 10 or 5. So it's hard to prepare for something like that. Okay, I digress. Will this be a winning strategy for the GOP? Will they increase their sway with the American people and their fundraising through this? Walking away, nightmare scenario, moon card. I don't think they will. And the reason is because as things progress or don't progress, maybe these attacks between Israel and Hamas taper down. People aren't interested. They're not as motivated to throw money at the RNC. I'm pausing here because I'm trying to see if Putin and Ukraine are coming into this at all. Only because I saw a story about Putin saying he expects the Western Allies alliance to crumble because of this. I think 2 things are going on. I think people are working hard for their money, and it's just like, oh my God, you want more of my money? I'm barely keeping afloat, and we don't know what happened. I don't care about Israel that much to throw a bunch of money at the RNC. They think that this is unjust, but again, in the Republican camp, you've got a lot of white supremacists. So why would they want to help Israel? So they're not going to help. And the evangelicals are Christians, not Jewish. They're not going to really want to help. I mean, maybe they'll help because they dislike Palestinians more than Israelis, but they may just walk away too and say, that's them. Let them blow each other up. We don't care. I don't think, and I'm not trying to be, what's the word? Blunt, crass, insensitive. I'm not trying to be insensitive to this. I'm trying to get my mind into the mindset of, who is in the GOP, who is a Republican these days, and how do they think? Come on back down. I want to talk about Putin. Again, Putin was saying something about, we could end this war in a week or the Western Alliance can fracture in a week. So does Putin. I'll see if Putin has something to do with this next. But with this attack over here, what Putin is hoping to see is that the West is going to move away from Ukraine, because now we're going to want to supply Israel with extra arms and stuff like that. So there's a mystery here. There's an unknown element, something behind this reaction. This could be Ukrainian nightmares and American money. Ukraine depends on the U.S. and its allies, and if the U.S. and allies walk away, then Ukraine's in a bad position. But I think there's justice here. And the justice card's telling me is that the right things will be done. The U.S. can support both. This isn't an either-or thing. The U.S. is plenty wealthy enough and has material to do both. Now, maybe it slows down some of the aid that goes to Ukraine, but it's going to be interesting if the Republicans sell themselves as the allies of Israel, then they should be supplying funding for it. And it's going to contrast really interestingly with them not wanting to fund Ukraine anymore. So why are you supporting Israel, but not supporting Ukraine. And here we go, right back to Russia. And in both cases, Russia started the incursion into Ukraine. Hamas started the rocket attack into Israel. What's the difference? The only difference is Hamas isn't trying to take Israeli territory. It's because they can't. They don't have the capacity to do that. They took hostages instead. That's what they do have the capacity to do. Okay. Oh, God. Didn't really want to throw Putin in this one, but we'll throw Putin in this. Is Putin had something to do with this? Is this something that Putin is involved with? The turmoil, the fighting, the bickering, the arguing. King of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, Ace of Cups, Page of Wands. Does Putin have something to do with this? I don't think he had anything to do with it, but I think he sees the benefits of it. In this fight, Ukraine has the advantage because they're getting supported by the allies, and they've captured the imagination of people. And with this latest adventure in the Middle East, you got your pyramids here, that could disrupt this balance here. So I don't think Putin had anything to do with this. Now, don't if you were to ask me if Iran had something to do with this, I think we are talking a different kettle of fish altogether. Because all indication is that Iran has something to do with this. Hamas really does have the ability to gather up that many missiles and rockets. It just, I mean, I could be wrong. It's possible they did, but Iran has a relationship with the Hamas on this one. And again, from my previous reading, I just really see a radicalization that happened there. And it's because when people don't have hope, they've got nothing to live for. So what do I care if I burn it all down? You've got way more than I do. I've got little to lose. Little or nothing to lose. Iran. What's Iran's feeling on this current situation? I didn't want to turn this into this, but here's we go. I'm just going to do a 4-carder. Iran wants to see the conflict. Iran is delusional. Well, they want to see the conflict because they've bamboozled Hamas. They've bamboozled Hamas, and this is their way of getting back at Israel. And they will continue to supply goods to keep this war rolling on. But I think what's going to happen, though, is that they're going to be exposed. There's going to be a connection shown that Iran has done this. Iran has been really playing on the passions of the Palestinians and urging them to do this, and that they would continue to support it. But again, they bamboozled them, and we're going to find out about it. Yeah. So, okay. So this was supposed to focus on the RNC, and we've gone into Hamas and Israel. But that's kind of how the path takes me sometimes. Oh, the world did not need this. I don't know why this is happening, but apparently it's not my pay grade to know or decide on these things. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your kind words, your comments, your shares, and your likes, and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my videos make it out to new viewers. And to those new viewers, welcome to the channel. Usually there's a little more snark in here, but this is kind of serious stuff. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Take care.